Let me share with you exactly what happens during these 3 days of transformed self-talk. The first day is often the most challenging, for you are going against every evidence of your senses. Your physical reality will still show you the old conditions, and your habitual self-talk will attempt to reassert itself. This is where most people fail. They allow what they see to dictate what they say to themselves. But I tell you this, your current circumstances are nothing more than your previous self-talk made visible. In the book of Hebrews, it is written, "Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of God, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear." Your self-talk is this very word of God that frames your world. Let me share with you the experience of a man who came to me seeking to transform his professional life. He had been stuck in a low-paid position for years, and his self-talk reflected this. I'm not qualified enough. Better opportunities are for others. I instructed him in this 3-day technique of self-talk. I instructed him in this 3-day technique of self-talk. For the first day, he was to speak to himself in a very specific way, not just arbitrary positive statements, but precise words that implied his desire was already fulfilled. When he looked in the mirror while dressing for work, instead of his habitual self-talk about another dreary day, he would say, "I love being executive vice president. My decisions create tremendous value for the company. My leadership inspires others." Throughout that first day, whenever his mind wandered to his current circumstances, he would gently bring it back by speaking to himself from the end. I'm so grateful for my executive position. I handle these responsibilities with such ease. My contributions are highly valued and generously rewarded. The second day brings a subtle shift. Your new self-talk begins to feel more natural, less forced. This is a crucial point where many lose their way, thinking the technique isn't working because it's becoming effortless. But this very naturalness is the signal that your new self-talk is taking root in consciousness. During the second day, your self-talk should focus not just on statements of fact, but on the natural conversations you would have with yourself from your desired state. If you're manifesting perfect health, you don't need to constantly affirm, "I am healthy." Instead, your self-talk might be, "I love how easily I climb these stairs. This fresh energy feels wonderful. I enjoy choosing nutritious foods for my vibrant body." I recall a woman who was manifesting her ideal marriage. During her second date, she didn't just affirm, "I am happily married." Her self-talk became the natural internal dialogue of a beloved wife. "I love preparing our favorite dinner. Our evening walks together are so completely. It's wonderful sharing my life with someone who understands me so completely." The third day is where the magic truly unfolds, but it's also where many stumble because they are looking for external results. Remember, in the book of Genesis, God did not pause after each day of creation to check if it was working. The work was done in consciousness through the Word, and the manifestation followed naturally. On this third day, your self-talk must be maintained with complete indifference to external circumstances. If you're manifesting financial abundance and you check your bank account to find it unchanged, your self-talk must remain steady. I love how money flows to me from expected and unexpected sources. I enjoy choosing the finest things in life. It's wonderful having more than enough to share generously. Let me reveal to you something profound about these 3 days. They correspond to 3 states of consciousness: initiation, transition, and acceptance. Your self-talk must reflect and support each state. The first day initiates the new concept. The second day bridges the new state. As a businessman once asked me why his previous attempts at positive self-talk had failed. Upon examination, I discovered he was changing his words, but not his state of consciousness. He would say, "I am successful," while internally arguing with the statement. I taught him that true self-talk isn't about the words alone. It's about speaking from the consciousness of already being what you desire to be. Now, let me share with you the exact structure of self-talk that creates the most rapid transformation during these 3 days. Many attempt to change their lives through haphazard positive statements, but there is a specific pattern, a divine order to effective self-talk that most never discover. This pattern is revealed in Scripture, where it states, "Let there be, and there was, and God saw that it was good." This is your template for powerful self-talk during these 3 days. First, you declare what is to be. Then you acknowledge it as already existing. Finally, you express gratitude for its perfection. I want to give you a living example. A young doctor came to me, frustrated with his practice. His self-talk was filled with anxiety about patients, concerns about income, and doubts about his abilities. For 3 days, I instructed him to transform his self-talk following this divine pattern. Upon waking the first morning, his self-talk began. "My practice is thriving. Patients seek me out for my exceptional care. I am known for my remarkable results." Throughout the day, whenever his old patterns of anxious self-talk attempted to surface, he would immediately shift to, "I love how smoothly my practice runs. Every patient interaction is satisfying and successful. My expertise brings healing to all who come to me." But here's the crucial point about your self-talk during these 3 days. It must be specific to your own desires and natural to your own way of speaking. Don't copy another's words. Your self-talk must feel like you, must flow naturally from your own consciousness, must be in your own voice. In the Psalms, it is written, "Deep calleth unto deep." Your self-talk must come from the depths of your being, not from the surface of your mind. When you speak to yourself during these 3 days, let the words rise from the consciousness of already being what you desire to be. Consider a teacher who came to me desiring to become a successful author. Her self-talk had been filled with doubt. Who would read my book? I'm not a real writer. I'll never finish this manuscript. I showed her how to structure her self-talk for the 3-day transformation. Instead of general affirmations about being a successful author, her self-talk became specific and natural. I love how readers connect with my stories. It's wonderful seeing my books in major bookstores. I enjoy signing copies for my devoted readers. These weren't just positive statements. They were the natural thoughts and words of someone already living her desired reality. Here's another vital aspect of the 3-day transformation that few understand. Your self-talk must encompass all 3 time frames, morning, day, and night, but in a specific way. Your morning self-talk sets the tone for the day and must be done before engaging with the world. Your daytime self-talk maintains the state. Your nighttime self-talk maintains the subconscious mind for manifestation. Let me share with you the exact method for nighttime self-talk that produces the most powerful results. As you prepare for sleep, your self-talk should take the form of grateful reflection. What a wonderful day in my thriving practice. I love how easily everything flows. Tomorrow brings even more opportunities to serve and succeed. This nighttime pattern of self-talk is crucial because it's your last conscious impression before entering the sleep state. In Scripture, it says, in a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, in slumberings upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men, and sealeth their instruction. Your nighttime self-talk is this very instruction being sealed in consciousness. A businessman who mastered this technique shared with me his experience. For 3 days, he maintained the most rigorous attention to his self-talk, especially during the drowsy state before sleep. His inner dialogue was consistently from the state of already being a successful entrepreneur. My business generates tremendous value. I love leading my team to greater achievements. Every decision I make creates positive results. By the 3rd morning, before any physical evidence appeared, he knew with absolute certainty that his world had shifted. His self-talk had transformed from effort to natural expression of his new state. When opportunities suddenly appeared that transformed his business, he recognized them as the inevitable manifestation of his 3 days of transformed self-talk. But here's something crucial about the 3-day transformation that most miss. You must maintain your new self-talk, even when circumstances seem to contradict it. In fact, contrary circumstances often appear during these 3 days as a test of your resolve. This is where most people falter, allowing external evidence to destruct their self-talk. Your self-talk must not only change in content, but in consciousness. The words themselves are merely the surface. It's the state from which they emanate that holds the true creative power. In the book of Matthew, it states, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. Your self-talk during these 3 days must flow from the heart, the consciousness of your wish fulfilled. This is why mechanical repetition of positive phrases fails to produce results. The words must be spoken from the consciousness of already being what you desire to be. I knew a woman who struggled with this principle until she grasped its essence. She desired to be a successful artist, but had never sold a painting. Her initial attempt at self-talk was mechanical. I am a successful artist. My paintings sell easily. But there was no transformation because she was speaking from her current state of lack. I taught her to first assume the consciousness of a successful artist, then let her self-talk flow naturally from that state. Her internal dialogue transformed. I love how collectors respond to my work. It's wonderful having my paintings in prestigious galleries. I enjoy deciding which exhibitions to participate in next. During these 3 days, your self-talk must reflect 3 levels of consciousness: being, having, and experiencing. Most people focus only on having, which is why their manifestations are temporary or never appear. Your self-talk must encompass all 3. Let me illustrate this principle. A man came to me desiring financial abundance. His self-talk had been focused entirely on having money. I have unlimited wealth. I showed him how to structure his self-talk to include all 3 levels. Being, I am financially wise. I am a masterful creator of wealth. Having, I have abundant resources. I have multiple streams of income. Experiencing, I love choosing the finest experiences in life. I enjoy sharing my abundance generously. This 3-level self-talk must be maintained consistently throughout the 3 days. Upon waking, your first thoughts should naturally flow from this expanded consciousness. Throughout the day, your internal dialogue should reflect all 3 levels. Before sleep, your final thoughts should encompass this complete state. Here's another crucial aspect of the 3-day transformation. Your self-talk must be in harmony with the law of assumption. In Scripture, it states, all things whatsoever ye pray and ask for, believe that ye have received them, and ye shall have them. Your self-talk must come from the consciousness of already having received. Consider a man who wanted to transform his relationships. His habitual self-talk had been, I'm always alone. Nobody understands me. I'll never find true love. For 3 days, I instructed him to speak from the consciousness of already being in perfect relationships. I love how easily I connect with others. Every interaction enriches my life. My relationships are deep and meaningful. I attract exactly the right people into my life. My presence brings joy to others. I am surrounded by love and understanding. But here's the vital point. These words weren't chosen randomly. They flowed naturally from his assumed state of being someone who enjoys wonderful relationships. This is why your self-talk during these 3 days cannot be scripted by another. It must be the natural expression of your assumed state. Let me share with you the exact pattern of self-talk for each of the 3 days. The first day, Your self-talk establishes the new state. I am now the person I desire to be. The second day, your self-talk normalizes this state. This is my natural way of being. The third day, your self-talk expresses gratitude for the state. How wonderful to be living this reality. A woman who applied this pattern to transform her health shared her experience with me. Her first day's self-talk established her new state. I am radiantly healthy. Every cell in my body vibrates with vitality. Perfect health is my natural state. The second day normalized this state. I love how easily I maintain perfect balance. When I feel exhausted, I feel grateful to God. I feel grateful to God. My body knows exactly how to maintain perfect balance. I feel grateful to God. I state. She transformed her body ever since then. I doubtful myself as a professional, but I'm mentally On the third day, her self-talk expressed gratitude for her state. I'm so grateful for my perfect health. It's wonderful having this abundant energy. I appreciate how my body maintains perfect wellness effortlessly. By the end of the third day, she no longer needed to monitor her self-talk. It flowed naturally from her new state of consciousness. Now let me reveal to you the culminating secret of this 3-day transformation through self-talk. The completion of these 3 days is not marked by external changes, but by an internal shift so profound that you no longer need to monitor your self-talk, because it naturally flows from your new state of consciousness. In Ecclesiastes, it is written, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. These 3 days represent the season of transformation, but they must be followed by something most people neglect, the Sabbath of rest. After 3 days of conscious self-talk, you must rest in the conviction that the work is done. A remarkable example of this principle was demonstrated by a man who had struggled with poverty consciousness for decades. For 3 days, he maintained the most exquisite attention to his self-talk. Every word that passed through his mind reflected the consciousness of wealth. I am the embodiment of abundance. I live in the endless stream of prosperity. By the end of the third day, something profound had shifted. He no longer needed to remind himself to speak from wealth consciousness. It had become his natural state. His self-talk flowed effortlessly from this new consciousness. Which of my investments shall I explore today? How can I best utilize these abundant resources? What wonderful opportunities shall I explore next? This is the true test of successful transformation, when your self-talk no longer requires effort or monitoring, because it naturally reflects your new state of consciousness. Just as you don't need to remind yourself to speak as who you are now, your new self-talk becomes the natural expression of who you have become. Let me share with you the final key to maintaining this transformation beyond the 3 days. Your self-talk must now become what I call your natural assumption. When you pick up a telephone, you naturally assume it will work. When you sit in a chair, you naturally assume it will hold you. Your new state must be maintained with this same natural assumption. Consider carefully what I tell you now. After these 3 days, if you find yourself slipping back into old patterns of self-talk, do not fight them. Instead, gently remind yourself, that was the old man speaking. I have crossed the bridge to my new state. Then resume your natural self-talk from your desired state. Remember the words in Scripture. Put off the old man with his deeds and put on the new man. Your transformed self-talk is the language of this new man. It is not something you do. It is something you become. The 3 days are merely the gestation period for this new birth. Let me conclude with this vital truth. Your self-talk is not just words. It is the very substance of your world taking form. Every word you speak to yourself is a seed planted in the fertile soil of consciousness. These 3 days of transformed self-talk are your concentrated period of planting, but the harvest will continue indefinitely if you maintain the state. The power to transform your entire life lies in your self-talk, but not in the superficial way most people understand. It is not about forcing positive thoughts or fighting negative ones. It is about speaking from the consciousness of already being who you desire to be. 3 days of consistent, conscious self-talk from this new state will transform your world. I leave you with this challenge. Begin your 3 days now, not tomorrow, not when circumstances are better, but now. Speak to yourself from the consciousness of your wish fulfilled. Maintain this new self-talk for 3 consecutive days. Watch as your world transformed to match your words. For it is written, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Your self-talk is this very power. Use it wisely, use it consistently, and use it now. The next 3 days can transform your entire life, if you will but speak to yourself from the consciousness of already being who you desire to be. The choice is yours, and the time is now. Your 3 days of transformation await. Begin this very moment to speak to yourself as the person you desire to be, and watch as your world reshapes itself to match your words. For this is the law, and this is the promise, and this is the power that has been given to you. Use it, prove it, and live it. The word is in your mouth and in your heart, ready to be spoken. Speak it now. Speak it with conviction, and speak it from the consciousness of fulfillment. Your 3-day journey to transformation begins with the very next words you speak to yourself. Make them count, make them powerful, and make them the truth you desire to experience. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have everything they desire, while others struggle their entire lives? The difference isn't luck, intelligence, or even hard work. It's something far more powerful, something I discovered that transformed my life in just 7 days. Today, I'm going to share with you the 5 habits that will revolutionize your existence. But before I do, I need you to understand something crucial. Everything you're about to hear has been tested, proven, and verified not just by me, but by thousands who have applied these principles. Let's start with habit number 1, the morning mental diet. This habit alone has the power to reshape your entire reality. Here's exactly how to do it. When you first wake up, don't move. Keep your eyes closed. For the next 15 minutes, you're going to enter what I call the creation zone. In this state, your brain waves are perfectly aligned for programming your subconscious mind. Begin by feeling your desired reality. Notice I'm not saying visualize, I'm saying feel. If you want financial abundance, feel the sensation of checking your bank account and seeing millions. Feel the texture of the leather seats in your dream car. Feel the ocean breeze on your face as you sit on the balcony of your beach house. I remember when I first started this practice, I was sleeping on a hard mattress in a cramped room, but every morning I would feel the sensation of waking up in my dream home. I felt the plush carpet under my feet, the warmth of the morning sun streaming through floor to ceiling windows, the peace of achieving everything I desired. Within days, my external reality began shifting to match my internal experience. This isn't coincidence, it's law. Habit number 2, the constant state. This habit is about maintaining your desired state throughout the day. Most people let their circumstances dictate their state of mind. We're going to reverse that. When you walk, walk as if you've already achieved everything you desire. When you talk, speak from the perspective of someone who has it all. When you breathe, breathe as if you're already living your dream life. This isn't pretending. It's assuming the natural state of who you really are. Think about how you'd carry yourself if you were already successful. How would your posture be? How would you interact with others? How would you respond to challenges? I practice this everywhere, at the grocery store, in meetings, while driving. Instead of letting my current circumstances affect my state, I maintained the feeling of my wish fulfilled. The results were immediate and astounding. Habit number 3, the financial feeling. This habit transformed my relationship with money overnight. Every time you interact with money, spending it, receiving it, even thinking about it, maintain the feeling of unlimited abundance. Here's the key to the financial feeling. When you pay bills, feel genuine gratitude for your ability to circulate money. When you buy something, feel the joy of endless prosperity. Even when you see expensive items, feel the natural comfort of knowing you can easily afford them. I remember standing in front of luxury stores, feeling the natural sensation of being able to buy anything I desire, not from a place of lack or wanting, but from a place of knowing it was already mine. This leads us to habit number 4, the nightly review. This habit is what I call the subconscious programming session. Before sleep, your mind enters a highly receptive state. This is when you can implant your desires directly into your subconscious. Lie in bed and replay your perfect day. Not the day you just had, but the day you want to have. Feel yourself waking up in your dream home. Experience the satisfaction of achieving your goals. Feel the joy of your ideal relationships. I would lie there feeling the sensation of closing million-dollar deals, of impacting thousands of lives, of living in complete abundance. I didn't just imagine these scenes, I felt them with every fiber of my being. The 5th habit is what I call the identity shift. This is perhaps the most powerful of all. Instead of trying to change your circumstances, you change who you are at the core level. Most people try to change their lives from the outside in. They think if I get more money, a better job, or a perfect relationship, they'll finally become the person they want to be. But that's backwards. You must first become that person in your mind. Feel what it's like to be confident, successful, and fulfilled. Don't ask yourself what you need to do to become successful. Ask yourself what a successful person would do, and then naturally do those things. I remember the exact moment this clicked for me. I stopped trying to become successful and simply assumed the identity of someone who already was. My walk changed, my talk changed, my decisions changed, all naturally, all effortlessly. These 5 habits work together in perfect harmony. The morning mental diet programs your day. The constant state maintains that programming. The financial feeling transforms your relationship with abundance. The nightly review deepens the impression, and the identity shift makes it all permanent. But here's what most people don't understand. These habits aren't about changing your actions. They're about changing your state of consciousness. When your consciousness changes, your actions change automatically. Think about it. How does a wealthy person make decisions? How does a confident person handle challenges? How does a successful person view opportunities? When you assume these states of consciousness, you naturally take the actions that create these results. Let me share with you how these habits create lasting transformation. Most people try to change their lives through willpower and struggle, but that's like trying to push a boulder uphill. These habits work with the natural laws of consciousness. Consider this: every morning when you practice the mental diet, you're actually reprogramming your subconscious mind. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined with feeling. It simply accepts whatever you impress upon it. I discovered that the key is persistence. When I first started, my logical mind would argue, saying this isn't real. But I persisted in maintaining the feeling of my desired reality. Within days, my external world began rearranging itself to match my internal state. Let me show you how to deepen these habits. With the constant state, you must understand that every moment is an opportunity to reinforce your new reality. When you're standing in line at the coffee shop, feel wealthy. When you're stuck in traffic, feel successful. When you're waiting for an elevator, feel accomplished. I remember catching myself slipping back into old patterns of thought. But instead of fighting these thoughts, I would gently return to my desired state. It's like training a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger it becomes. The financial feeling requires a complete shift in how you view money. Most people feel tension, worry, or lack when dealing with money. You must train yourself to feel relaxed, confident, and abundant in all financial situations. When I began this practice, I would walk into expensive stores and feel completely at home. I would look at luxury cars and feel the natural sensation of ownership. I would read about million-dollar deals and feel completely comfortable with those numbers. The nightly review becomes more powerful when you add emotional intensity to your scenes. Don't just passively observe your desired reality. Be fully immersed in it. Feel the textures, hear the sounds, experience the emotions. I would spend hours perfecting my scenes, making them more vivid, more real, more alive. The key is to feel the naturalness of your desired state. It shouldn't feel like fantasy. It should feel like memory. The identity shift is where all these habits culminate. You're not just changing your thoughts or actions, you're changing who you are at the deepest level. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about awakening to who you truly are. Think about how master pianist plays. They don't think about each note, they express their mastery naturally. That's how these habits should feel. They should become as natural as breathing. Let me reveal something profound about these habits that most people never realize. Every single moment of your day is either reinforcing your old reality or creating your new one. There is no neutral ground. When you're practicing the morning mental diet, you're not just daydreaming, you're actually selecting which version of reality you'll experience. Think of it like tuning a radio to a specific frequency. The station you tune into determines what you'll hear. I discovered that the key to making this habit unstoppable is to focus on the feeling tone of your desire. If you want wealth, don't just imagine money. Feel the security, the freedom, the peace that comes with abundance. Make it so real that your palms tingle with the sensation. The constant state becomes even more powerful when you understand this. Your current circumstances are just shadows of past thinking. They have no power to dictate your state unless you give them that power. This was a game changer for me. When I faced challenges or setbacks, instead of reacting to them, I would immediately shift to the feeling of my desire fulfilled. If someone questioned my goals, I maintained my state. If circumstances seemed contrary to my desires, I persisted in my chosen state. Here's something critical about the financial feeling that transformed my entire relationship with money. Money is just frozen desire. When you maintain the feeling of abundance, you're actually melting that frozen energy and allowing it to flow freely in your life. I remember standing in line at the grocery store, watching others stress about prices. But I had trained myself to feel wealthy regardless of my bank balance. Every transaction became an opportunity to circulate abundance, to feel the joy of prosperity. The nightly review becomes magnetic when you add this dimension. As you're reviewing your perfect day, feel the satisfaction of already having lived it. Don't preview it, review it. This subtle shift makes all the difference. I would lie in bed feeling the profound gratitude of another successful day, even before that day had physically manifested. I felt the handshakes, heard the congratulations, experienced the joy of achievements as if they had already happened. The identity shift deepens when you realize this truth. You're not becoming someone new. You're remembering who you truly are. This isn't about change, it's about recognition. You're simply recognizing your true unlimited nature. Most people think success is about doing, but it's really about being. When you shift your identity, the doing follows naturally. I stopped trying to figure out how to become successful and simply started being successful in my mind and emotions. Here's something few understand about these habits. They work on the principle of assumption. When you assume something is true, your subconscious mind must make it so. It has no choice. It's like giving it a direct command. Let me share something revolutionary about these habits that changed everything for me. Most people think time is linear, that tomorrow comes after today. But when you master these habits, you realize time is actually simultaneous. All possibilities exist now. The morning mental diet becomes exponentially more powerful when you grasp this. You're not creating something new. You're selecting from infinite existing possibilities. Every morning, as you lie there feeling your desired reality, you're actually tuning into a version of you that already has everything you want. I discovered that consistency is crucial. Even if you don't feel like doing it, even if your logical mind argues against it, you must maintain these practices. It's like building a fire. You can't light it once and expect it to burn forever. You must tend to it. The constant state takes on new meaning when you understand this principle. Your external world is nothing but your internal world pushed out. Everything you see, every person you meet, every circumstance you encounter is simply showing you your previous state of consciousness. This was mind-blowing for me. I realized that when I maintained my desired state throughout the day, I wasn't just pretending. I was actually shifting the entire universe to match my consciousness. Every moment became an opportunity for transformation. Let me share a deeper aspect of the financial feeling that most never grasp. Money is just a symbol of exchange, but abundance is a state of being. When you maintain the feeling of abundance, you're not just attracting money, you're becoming the very essence of prosperity. I remember walking into stores and feeling completely different about prices. Instead of seeing something as expensive, I would feel genuine appreciation for its value. Instead of wondering if I could afford something, I naturally knew everything was within my means. The nightly review becomes transformative. When you add this dimension, as you're reviewing your perfect day, feel the relief of knowing it's done. Feel the satisfaction of completion. Feel the natural assumption that this is simply your way of life now. I would lie there feeling the weight of achievement, the warmth of accomplishment, the peace of knowing my desires were already fulfilled. This wasn't hope or wishful thinking. It was a knowing beyond all doubt. The identity shift deepens when you realize this truth. Every version of you already exists. The successful you, the wealthy you, the confident you, they're all present now. You're not creating these versions, you're selecting which one to experience. Think about this. When you change channels on a TV, you're not creating new programs. You're tuning into broadcasts that already exist. Similarly, when you shift your identity, you're tuning into a version of you that already exists in infinite possibility. These habits work together in perfect harmony because they all operate on the same principle, the principle of consciousness. Whatever you're conscious of, you must experience. Whatever you feel is real must become real. Let me reveal something that will fundamentally change how you understand these habits. Most people think success requires years of hard work, but I discovered that success happens in an instant. The instant you fully accept your desired state as real. Think about this when you're practicing the morning mental diet. You're not just visualizing a better future. You're actually stepping into a new dimension of yourself. Each morning becomes a portal to infinite possibilities. This is why the first 15 minutes of your day are sacred. I remember the exact moment this clicked for me. Instead of starting my day with worry and rush preparation, I would lie there in complete serenity, feeling my desired reality with such intensity that my current circumstances seemed like a distant dream. Here's a crucial aspect of the constant state that most miss. Your state of consciousness is your real environment. The physical world you see is just a shadow of past states. When you maintain your desired state throughout the day, you're actually living in your new reality becomes visible to others. Let me share something profound about maintaining your state. Every person you encounter, every situation you face, is actually an opportunity to reinforce your new reality. When someone talks about limitation, silently maintain your state of abundance. When circumstances appear challenging, intensify your feeling of success. The financial feeling becomes revolutionary when you understand this. Money doesn't flow to you. It flows through you. When you maintain the feeling of unlimited abundance, you become a channel for wealth. Every financial transaction becomes a celebration of prosperity. I would look at my bank account with the same feeling regardless of the numbers shown. I would pay bills with genuine joy, knowing that every dollar spent would return multiplied. I would treat myself to quality experiences, maintaining the natural feeling that I could afford anything I truly desire. The nightly review takes on new power when you grasp this. Your subconscious mind is most receptive in the last moments before sleep. This is when you can impress your desires most deeply. It's like programming tomorrow while you sleep. I would create scenes so vivid, so real, that my physical reality seemed like the dream. I would feel the texture of success, hear the sounds of achievement, experience the emotions of fulfillment with such intensity that my subconscious had no choice but to accept them as real. The identity shift becomes unstoppable. When you realize this, you are not your past thoughts, your current circumstances, or your future hopes. You are pure consciousness capable of assuming any state you desire. This is true power. Most people try to change their lives by changing their actions, but I discovered that when you change your identity, your actions change automatically. You don't have to force yourself to act successful. You naturally do what a successful person would do because you're operating from that state of consciousness. Here's something crucial about these habits. They're not separate practices. They're different aspects of the same truth. The truth that your consciousness is the only reality. Everything else, your body, your environment, your circumstances, is just consciousness pushed out into form. The morning mental diet becomes transformative when you realize this. In those first moments of waking, your brain operates in theta waves, the same state held by advanced meditators. This is why those 15 minutes are more powerful than hours of affirmations during the day. I remember experiencing this profound truth. During these morning sessions, I wasn't just imagining success, I was actually experiencing success at a neurological level. My brain couldn't distinguish between my imagined reality and physical reality, creating new neural pathways of achievement. Here's the deeper aspect of the constant state that changed everything. Every emotion you feel throughout the day is actually a choice. When you understand this, you realize you can choose to feel successful, wealthy, and fulfilled regardless of external circumstances. Think about this. Your current reality is just a shadow of past emotional states. When you maintain your desired emotional state consistently, you're actually creating your future reality. Every moment becomes a point of power, a chance to reinforce your new state of being. The financial feeling transforms when you grasp this principle. Money is just crystallized consciousness. When you maintain the feeling of abundance, you're actually altering the energy field around you. This is why opportunities seem to appear out of nowhere when you master this habit. I discovered that every financial transaction is actually an energy exchange. When I bought coffee, paid rent, or made any purchase, I maintained the feeling that I was circulating abundance, not losing money. This subtle shift created a constant flow of prosperity in my life. The nightly review becomes magical when you understand this. Your subconscious mind processes information in symbols and feelings. When you review your perfect day before sleep, you're actually feeding your subconscious mind a new blueprint for reality. I would lie there feeling the satisfaction of closed deals, the joy of achievement, the peace of financial freedom. But here's the key. I wouldn't just imagine these scenes. I would feel them with such intensity that my body responded as if they were actually happening. The identity shift reaches new depths when you realize this truth. Your identity isn't something you create. It's something you select from infinite possibilities. Just as a radio can tune into different stations, your consciousness can tune into different versions of you. This understanding transformed how I approach change. Instead of trying to become something new, I simply tuned into the version of me that already had everything I desired. The struggle disappeared, replaced by a natural assumption of my chosen state. Here's something profound about these habits. They work on the principle of resonance. Whatever state you maintain consistently becomes your dominant frequency, and the universe must respond by bringing you experiences that match that frequency. The morning mental diet becomes even more crucial. When you understand this, those first 15 minutes are actually programming the quantum field. When you feel your desired reality with intensity, you're not just affecting your mind, you're reorganizing the very fabric of reality. I discovered that during these morning sessions, maintaining pure focus is essential. Any doubt, any questioning of how create static in the quantum field. The key is to feel with such completeness that questions become irrelevant. You simply know it's done. Here's something profound about the constant state that few understand. Every moment of your day is a choice point in quantum reality. Each time you maintain your desired state despite contrary evidence, you're actually collapsing quantum possibilities into your chosen reality. Think about this. When you're in line at a store, sitting in traffic, or facing any situation that would normally trigger negative emotions, you have a quantum opportunity. By maintaining your desired state, you're actually selecting which parallel reality you'll experience next. The financial feeling becomes extraordinary when you grasp this principle. Money is just frozen time and energy. When you maintain the feeling of unlimited abundance, you're actually altering the quantum field that governs financial flow. I remember walking past expensive stores, looking at luxury items, and feeling complete ownership, not from a place of wanting, but from a place of having. This wasn't pretense, it was selecting from infinite quantum possibilities the reality where these things were already mine. The nightly review takes on cosmic significance when you understand this. During sleep, your consciousness interfaces directly with the quantum field. Your nightly scene review isn't just programming your mind, it's programming reality itself. I would lie there feeling the absolute naturalness of my desires fulfilled. I discovered that the key isn't to reach for the feeling, but to settle into it like sinking into a comfortable chair. The more natural it feels, the more quickly it manifests. The identity shift becomes reality altering when you grasp this truth. You are not a physical being trying to affect the quantum field. You are the quantum field expressing itself as a physical being. This understanding changes everything. Most people think they need to overcome their circumstances. But I discovered that circumstances are just crystallized consciousness. When you shift your identity at the quantum level, circumstances must shift to match your new frequency. Here's something revolutionary about these habits. They work because they align you with the fundamental nature of reality. Reality isn't solid. It's a responsive field of infinite possibility, constantly shaped by consciousness. Think about this. Every great achievement in history first existed as a state of consciousness in someone's mind. The Wright brothers felt the reality of flight before planes existed. Every inventor, every innovator, every achiever first lived their desire in consciousness.